what I got for Christmas. And I was like, I moved to Europe. I moved with all of my furniture, meaning like I spent $20,000 on a shipping container. Like, so there were big presents that I got. And then I was like, wait. No, I actually got myself a bunch of amazing, well, first and foremost, London, who is 6 years old, made her babysitter stop and get me a beautiful plant for Christmas and then like hid it from me for a week and was like, you cannot go into that bathroom because that's where my surprise for you is. So that was beautiful and sweet. It's kind of like her first gift to me. And then I gave myself a bunch of other gifts, mostly around my health, investments in my health. I hired a nutrition coach. I hired a private Pilates coach. I got myself a walking pad for my standing desk. I ended up actually getting a new standing desk and then another standing desk for different parts of the house. And then I got a couple of things that are really oriented around I got a bunch of things for my kitchen because when you move to Europe, a lot of the electronic works inside your old appliances will technically work with a converter, but it can burn the engine out and it's not ideal. So, if you've ever traveled to Europe and tried to convert even plug your hairdryer or your laptop charger into a converter, imagine doing that with like a Vitamix or a steamer or whatever. So what I did was I actually gifted all of my beautiful appliances to someone who's very near and dear to my heart in the United States. And then once I got here, and I had a flare of my medical condition, non-radiographic axial spondyloarthritis, I really decided to pour into myself and into London, who also has some autoimmune concerns. I wanted to make sure I could manage the purity of the ingredients of our foods. And I also wanted to make sure our foods were delicious, even though they had lots of ingredients that we couldn't eat. So I, really started to cook a lot. And I bought myself a Moulinex blender, which is kind of like the Vitamix of Europe. I bought myself, there is Vitamix in Europe, but Moulinex is a European brand and is fantastic. I actually like it better than my Vitamix. I know it's sacrilege, but I do. I bought a new blender, a new steamer, an Instant Pot, a yogurt maker, a dehydrator. All of those were my new kitchen investments. And then I always invest a lot of time too. Anytime you want to create new habits or create new health ways of being, you have to invest some time into them too. So I invested, these are investments, my New Year's and Christmas investments for myself and my health started back in probably October, November. I wanted to unbox a few things that are additional investments that I've made in my health. And like I said, I do consider moving to Europe an investment that I made in my health and well-being, an investment I made in untraumatizing our bloodline as a family. I have been toying with, I am essentially a biohacker, and I was made a biohacker by years of misdiagnosis and medical gaslighting. And also just, it's in my personality. I have a strong maverick, strong ruler, archetypes in my personality. So it's in my personality in my design to take my body and my health into my own hands and to optimize. I think so much in American culture is about Black women's health, meaning how do we get everybody out of having heart disease? How do we get people out of, depression? How do we get people out of high blood pressure? I'm about that optimization life. How do we live maximum lives, lengthwise, lifespan-wise, and also well-being wise, right? Just the same way that I do at Soul Tour, teach you about mastery, self-mastery. What's this Technicolor lick the plate version of life? That's what I wanted in my body too. And in some ways, in many ways, I feel that I may end up living a longer life because of my medical condition, because it has required me to sometimes I think maybe it's not even a bug, maybe it's a feature, to use the phrase that we use in tech all the time. Maybe, and if you have an autoimmune condition, try this on. ask yourself, even in the pain, even in all the nonsense in medical tomfoolery, is it possible that it's a feature, not a bug? Is it possible that your body has evolved to reject some of the many of the inflammatory foods and realities and conditions and messages of our culture? And that pain is your body doing that, asking you and requiring you to elevate the way you live and elevate what you consume, elevate your standards for that. That's how I've chosen to look at it. And I thrive as a result. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I'm experimenting with. I have long experimented with hot and cold, with cryotherapy and sauna, for mobility and for, reduction of inflammation. I'm going to unpack, I'm basically trying to create in my new home in Portugal, and this is like an interim home situation. I'm here in this property, probably 1 to 3 years. And we're 6 months in. And I fully unpack and settle in. This is my art on the walls. I don't play that. This is my furniture. We are not doing liminal here, even though, we have another move to make probably in the soonish future. I've been experimenting with hot and cold, sauna and cryotherapy when I lived in the Bay Area. What I'm doing here is I've invested in one of these pop-up saunas, a pop-up steam sauna and a cold plunge. There's lots of ways you can experiment with hot and cold, fire and ice. Either extreme, and especially both extremes alternating, have lots of data backing them up as improving cardiovascular function, decreasing inflammation, and improving longevity. There's a reason the Nordics and the Scandinavians who have these traditions around cold plunges and saunas live really long. They also have traditions around calorie restriction, and not for weight loss, for longevity. So I've bought a pop-up sauna, I bought a cold plunge, and then I bought 2 mats, PEMF mats, that are reputed also to increase healing, decrease joint pain. I got one that's I bought them from the brand Higher Dose. I bought one that is the PEMF Go Mat. It's both infrared and it radiates both infrared and PEMF. And you put the Go Mat actually on your office chair or on the couch. If you're sitting on the couch or wherever you be, you can move it around. And then there's the full body PEMF mat, infrared and PEMF mat. And that I will probably put in the gym over here where we have a Peloton, a rower that I actually use as a Pilates reformer, and some yoga and meditation equipment. I'll probably put the big mat there, so I can experience the full body effects of it. So I'm just gonna unbox these things for you right now. Not for you, with you right now. And I wasn't planning to make a whole video on these, but I wanted to start using, I was planning to do more of a formal thing about my radical health protocol. And then I was like, you know what? I need to actually start using these items today. So today I did hot and cold this morning. So I got up this morning, I did my daily ritual that I teach my students at Soul Tour. It's 4 parts. First you sit in guided practice, guided by me. Then you write with a writing prompt guided by me or provided by me, or you can free write, sort of morning pages style. In this way, you both recalibrate your nervous system, and then that opens you up to receive divine downloads of inspiration, golden thread type ideas from source. We model that practice after the Hindu practice of Brahma Muhurta, which is a 90-minute-ish time frame before sunrise, where it's thought that Brahma, the Hindu creator god, kind of puts the most potent creative ambrosia and the best ideas and the downloads, like for what your divine direction is, for the day, for the year, for your life, into the air. It's also the time of day that you're the quietest, so you can receive, you're the quietest, your mind is the quietest, you have the fewest outside demands on you, so you can receive those downloads. So we sit first to receive to downregulate our nervous system, quiet our mind, slow our own thoughts, and receive downloads, okay? From Source, Spirit, all that is God. From your own wise inner being, golden threads of inspiration. Then we write to capture them. And often I advise my students and members of Soul Tour that if you get a divine download in daily ritual, you go act on it then, okay? You can literally break ritual to go act on it then. Then we do some daily declarations, which are meant to, a lot of what we do at Soul Tour is meant to recalibrate you, wake you up from your core trance, which is your dominant fear-based thought habit that you've been thinking so long you don't even know that you're thinking it. So it could be fear, scarcity, unworthiness, or trauma. And when you begin to wake up from and recalibrate out of that way of thinking, it can be very untethering until you rebuild a new belief infrastructure. And so daily declarations begin to rebuild a new belief infrastructure for you, a new empowered belief infrastructure about who you really are, made of God, why you're really here, and how easily your life can come together in the divine genius plan for it, okay? And then we do some physical movement at the very end of the ritual. So this morning I got up, I did my daily ritual, I got London up, I got her on the school bus, and then I walked. So I did a 10,000 step walk, just a couple miles. And I was gonna go to I have a little gym here, a personal training studio where I can go to do that walk, but I decided to go just walk outside, and it was very cold. It was probably in the 40s Fahrenheit. And I just decided to keep walking and I walked further and outside of my neighborhood and ended up at the beach, and then actually went and got into the water. So very cold Atlantic Ocean in January. And then got myself back together and all, geared back up, came back home. So did 5,000 steps there, 5,000 steps back, and then got into a very, very hot, probably 105, 106 degree bath. So that was my hot and cold today. I'm wanting to make this a little less difficult, a little less logistically difficult. So that's the thing. When I begin to build new healthful habits, I very intentionally invest time and energy in making them very easy to do and convenient to do and delicious to do. I feel like other people may talk to you about the easy part and the convenient part. They'll be like, put your shoes next to the bed, and I'll be like, yes, and also buy the sexiest shoes. Like, I have leopard print Hoka Ones. You know what I'm saying? So you want it to be delicious, not just because otherwise your inner critic, which is the voice of fear within you, that speaks to you within you, the conditioned voice of fear, it's not really you, will start chiming in about how, what a chore this is. You'll create this inner battle between your inner, it won't be like your wise inner child, it'll be like the inner wild child and the inner dictator within you end up in this, battle anytime you make it feel like a chore. So I don't want my life to feel like a chore. I don't, so I choose a life that is riddled with, characterized by, totally full of self-care and self-valuing ways of being, not just self-care actions and habits, self-valuing whole operating systems. And I just don't make any of it feel like a chore. Like I said, with the food, if I have food restrictions, I'm gonna make it the most delicious. My food is gonna taste better than everybody else's food who can eat wheat and dairy and everything else. You know what I'm saying? So I feel the same way about my daily rituals and habits and self-caring habits, and body care habits. It has to feel really good. It has to feel luxurious and lavish. So I think this is like a steam unit that goes inside the sauna unit. And then here are poles. I'm not gonna probably, this is a little more assembly heavy than I'm likely to show on this entire, you know, show the entirety of on this video. Because I have a helper here who needs to get into the rest of the house. But I do want to unbox them. So this is, I think this is the pop-up sauna bit. And I'm, you know, a little bit debating oh my gosh, so cute. It has a whole little chair for you to sit on in the sauna. If I can stand in it, I'll likely stand in it because I like to stretch a little bit, not a ton. I used to, you know, I used to be very intense, like Bikram yogi. I've done everything, right? And I used to be one of those people you would see at the gym who goes in there and like stretches everything out. Honestly, I just don't, I don't do anything that extreme these days, unless it's required medically. So yeah, you can see there's lots of like caps and elbows. I think this is the main structure. I used this brand new Recover. So I think what I'll do is, looks like there's like a little, oh yes, there's this little mat that you can buy. It's like an absorbent mat so that right outside your sauna, you can have it not get, you know, messy and gross. I have some decisions to make in terms of whether this goes inside or outside. Like I said, I do have a gym inside this house. I could alternatively, I have a pool house in the back. The pool house smells like pool. It smells like pool chemicals. So I'm a little, I don't know if that's the place. I also have a really good back porch. And I think that I may end up doing that so that I'll have to check like what the electric, I think the only electricity required for this pop-up sauna actually is with this singular steam unit that you see down here, the small one that I opened, the first thing I opened. So I'm hoping that I have adequate access to a power outlet on the back porch. To set it up back there, but wouldn't that be lovely? Like just a beautiful kind of outdoors, go out, get up in the morning, go on your walk, come out, you know, go outside to your own back porch, hop in the sauna, or reverse, hop in the cold plunge, and then hop in the sauna, and then like bath, shower, begin to work. Okay, so looks like I have another one of these mats, which I'm excited for. I also invested in a couple of really, you know, I live in Europe. This is actually about the right size for a European ice cube. They're like this big. I don't personally use ice in my drinks, so it's no big deal. There's no ice maker. I have 2 refrigerators in this home. There's no ice makers. It's like not a thing. But a cold plunge actually takes a fair amount of ice. So I invested in, I think this makes about almost 200 ice cubes for the cold plunge. And what's nice is that right now it's cold enough outside. It's not freezing outside, but it's cold enough that I think with the lid and with the insulation of the cold plunge, I should probably only have to fill it with ice maybe once or twice a week. And then I think this is the actual cold plunge. It's basically like a little short cup that you dip your body in. A little short, really insulated It's not like a bathtub. It's not like a thing that you're gonna lie down in and relax, right? This is it. And then, you know, it inflates, and then you fill it up with water. It's got posts and holes, I'll show you. So what I'll do, and so you'll see, I'll set these all up and then shoot an after video out, maybe in it. I'll show you where I've set them up, and we'll make sure that we include the links to these items below this video. Now, so that's the pop-up sauna. Yes, this is the pop-up sauna. I just want to make sure I actually show you on camera what the sauna piece of it looks like. I have used at home in California, I used the sauna blanket from Higher Dose for a long time and loved it. What it's not is steam. It's not steam. And I want steam. So this is what the sauna looks like. And then again, there's lots of posts. So it's not actually super small, right? With the posts, it becomes so, I don't know that you could really get two people comfortably into it, but I think you could actually stand two people inside it. I know, I ain't got nobody I want to be that close with, except maybe London. And London doesn't want to be there. London does not like hot. She doesn't even like warm. She's constantly telling me, Mama, remember, like, I like to be cold. She'll say, Mama, my blood is warm. Okay. Now here, these things are a little different than the other. They require no assembly that I know of. They're really just, it's a mat. And the mat radiates an electromagnetic frequency that I like that they call these. It emits two different frequencies that we think of, types of radiation that we think of as like radiation therapy for healing, for actually deep healing in the cells, cellular level healing in your body. One infrared and one electromagnetic frequency. I can't remember what the pulsed. I was going to say I couldn't remember what the P stands for. I knew the EMF stood for electromagnetic frequency. The idea is that these the PEMF is very, very low pulsed electromagnetic frequency that actually induces your brain into the like alpha state, the slower brainwave states. So waking, but also very restful. They're kind of like, if you've heard me ever talk about doing Silva mind control technique, which if you're a soul tour person, I teach. Silva mind control is, Silva mind control, our guided daily ritual. There are all these technologies that we have for getting your brain to alpha state. And in an alpha state, your fear thoughts and your like frontal lobe thoughts can't really exist. So it's almost asleep, but it can be very wakeful. Your frontal lobe's fear thoughts, that's what I should say. All the sort of fearful narratives that we spin just really can't, your brain can't be in alpha and also be thinking those kinds of thoughts. And so when that kind of fear switch flips off and the like lower vibrational thoughts switch off, your body naturally is like a healing factory. I tell London all the time, your body is a super healer. You don't have to do anything to make that happen. It just heals. It's the fact that so many of us live under chronic stress hormones and cortisol levels for so many decades and even generations that it has signaled our genes to downregulate, to express in the lowest expression ways, and that creates disease. So these PEMF mats, here's one. I'll try to take the plastic off. I may have to move the camera to even open the other box, the big one. So for now, I'll just open this one. And I'll try to get the big one into part 2 of this. And this is the portable one, right? So just to let you know, there's a whole electrical apparatus in here. Now, I know that the way I just described PEMF made it sound very woo, and it's truly not. Like, you can literally find many, many, many peer-reviewed studies about PEMF and about infrared and their impact on healing. So it's not only about like taking the fear out of your mind so that you might like heal better. Sure, that too. But these particular things that I'm unboxing today have like very proven, very known science and data backed impacts on healing. So I just wanted to make that clear. So this is the PEMF Go Mat. I'm gonna go put it on my office chair. Then I'll open the bigger one. Once we get these things all set up, wherever we set them up, I will shoot a part 2 and let you know how it's going. All right, I love you. See you soon. Keep your head up and your heart out.